A Silicon Valley startup just announced plans to build an army of 50,000 humanoid robots by the end of 2027. Yes, the end of next year. And they're not hiding what these machines are designed to do. They'll carry weapons, they'll enter combat zones, and they'll be the first ones through the door when things get deadly. But here's what nobody's talking about. This company went from founding to working production robots in just 18 months. And the CEO says there's a non-zero chance they can actually pull off this insane manufacturing timeline. So what's really going on here? Who is Foundation? And what does an army of humanoid robots mean for the future of warfare? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this might be the most important robotics announcement of the decade, and why it's happening faster than anyone expected. Let's start with the basics. Foundation, also known as Foundation Future Industries, is a San Francisco-based robotics startup that was founded in 2024. Yes, you heard that right, 2024. This company is barely a year old. The founder and CEO is Sankeet Pathak, who previously ran a fintech company called Synapse, which, by the way, is a super famous company. He's been coding since he was 12 years old, focused on computer vision in college, and now he's pivoting hard into robotics. But this isn't some garage startup with big dreams and no execution. Foundation has already raised $198 million in funding, starting with an $11 million seed round, which is big for seed. Here's what makes Foundation different from the hundreds of other humanoid robot startups out there. Speed and focus. Within 18 months of establishing the company, Pathak already had production robots working in actual partner locations, doing real manufacturing tasks. This is not a prototype in a lab. This is a robot on a factory floor doing work right now. And Foundation didn't get there by accident. They made two strategic acquisitions early on, one in AI and one in next-gen actuators, which massively accelerated their development timeline. Plus, they recruited top talent from Tesla, Boston Dynamics, SpaceX, and another humanoid company called 1X, which is now famous. Their head of manufacturing is an ex-Tesla manufacturing director who worked on the Model X and Model Y production ramps. These people know how to scale fast. But here's the teaser I'm going to leave you with. If they can build production robots this fast, what else are they capable of? And why are they so focused on the military? We'll get to that in a minute. Before we dive deeper into what Foundation is building and why it matters, if you're finding this breakdown valuable, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the AI Guide, and share this video with anyone who needs to understand where AI and robotics are heading. And if you want to support the channel directly, check out our Patreon. Your support keeps this channel running and helps me bring you the most important AI and robotics news every week. All right, let's get back to it. So what exactly is Foundation building? Meet the Phantom MK1. This is a humanoid robot that stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs about 180 pounds, pretty close to human average. It's designed to look and move like a human, which means it can operate in environments built for people without requiring any modifications. The Phantom has a blacked out frame, broad shoulders, and a featureless face embedded with cameras. People have compared it to a Star Wars battle droid, and honestly, that's not far off. It looks utilitarian, almost intimidating, and that's intentional. Here's what makes the Phantom special from a technical standpoint. First, it uses proprietary cycloid actuators. These are the robot's muscles, and they're incredibly efficient. They can operate for multiple shifts without overheating. They're quiet and they're back-drivable, which means they're safer around humans because they can give way when they encounter resistance. Second, the Phantom relies primarily on cameras for vision, not expensive sensor arrays like LiDAR. This is a deliberate design choice to simplify data integration and improve reliability in harsh environments, like, say, a battlefield. The robot's upper torso is its operational core. That's where all the sensors, computers, cameras, and batteries are housed, and it can carry a payload of more than 44 pounds. That could be tools, supplies, ammunition, or yes, weapons. The CEO has specifically mentioned the M4 carbine, a standard military rifle. Now, Foundation is positioning the Phantom for dual use, industrial work and military applications. On the industrial side, these robots are already working in consumer goods manufacturing, beverage production, and glass manufacturing. But let's be real, the big story here is the military side, and that's where things get controversial. So why is Foundation so openly targeting the U.S. military when most robotics companies shy away from defense applications? Pathak has been very direct about this. In a Forbes interview, he said, "You should really work hard to give the U.S. military smarter tools so that they can be more effective." And he's not apologizing for it. Here's his argument. Humanoid robots can do the dangerous work that puts soldiers at risk. They can be the first ones into a building during urban combat. They can go over a hill to scout enemy positions. They can enter caves to search for combatants. They can carry ammunition to the front lines. They can handle bomb disposal. Essentially, they can take on the high-risk grunt work tasks that no officer wants to send their soldiers to do. Pathak also argues that humanoid robots could make military force more precise. Instead of calling in an airstrike that might cause collateral damage, you could send in a humanoid robot that can assess the situation on the ground, enter buildings, and make more targeted decisions. In his view, this could actually reduce civilian casualties and make warfare less destructive. And then there's the deterrence argument. Pathak believes that if the U.S. military had 100,000 humanoid robots that it could deploy, it would by and large end a lot of wars before they start. The logic is simple. If the U.S. can send robots instead of soldiers, there's no political backlash from casualties. Knowing that, potential adversaries might be less likely to engage in conflict in the first place. Robots become a form of peacekeeping through overwhelming deployable capability. But here's the counter-argument, and it's a big one. If the military is more willing to use force because robots eliminate the human cost, doesn't that make wars more likely, not less? If there's no political price to pay for deploying military force, the threshold for intervention drops, and that's a scary thought. So which is it? Do military robots prevent wars or enable them? That's the question nobody has a good answer to yet. But one thing is certain, this technology is coming whether we're ready for it or not. Now let's talk about the production plan, because this is where things get truly wild. Foundation CEO says they're aiming to deploy 40 robots in 2025, and I guess they know that. Then 10,000 robots in 2026, and then 40,000 more in 2027, bringing the total to 50,000 humanoid robots by the end of 2027. Let me put that into perspective. Most robotic companies are still struggling to get a single working prototype out the door. Foundation is talking about manufacturing 50,000 units in less than 3 years. Pathak himself admits this timeline is extremely aggressive, but he says there's a non-zero chance they can pull it off. And you can obviously tell by the way he phrased that he worked for Elon Musk. How? Foundation isn't planning to sell these robots. They're planning to lease them for about $100,000 per year per unit. And here's the math that makes this a potential unicorn overnight. A unicorn means they've hit $1 billion in value. If they hit their production targets and lease out 50,000 robots, that's approximately $5 billion in annual recurring revenue. That's not a one-time sale. That's $5 billion every single year. Quick side note, you can't charge that much in a factory or people won't do it. The fully loaded cost, meaning payroll and benefits, for a person in a factory in the U.S. is about, let's say, $60,000 a year. So you got to hit that number if you want to lease these things. But that's a side note. Pathak says they don't need hundreds of customers to make this work. They need about 5 high-quality, large-scale deals. Think major defense contracts or massive industrial partnerships. Each one could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars in annual recurring revenue. Now, are their prototypes ready? Yes. Foundation already has working robots in production environments at undisclosed partner locations. These aren't vaporware. They're real, functioning machines doing real work right now. As for military orders, the articles I reviewed didn't mention any confirmed contracts yet, but Pathak is confident customers will appear, and they will. And given the U.S. military's interest in autonomous systems and the geopolitical competition with China and Russia, it's not hard to imagine defense contracts coming soon. The big question is whether Foundation can actually scale production this fast. Their head of manufacturing has experience with Tesla's Model X and Model Y ramps, which were notoriously challenging but ultimately successful. So the expertise is there, but scaling humanoid robots is a different beast than scaling cars. We'll have to wait and see. So what does all of this mean for militaries around the world? Let's start with the obvious. If Foundation succeeds, the U.S. military will have access to a scalable, deployable force of humanoid robots that can operate in human environments, carry weapons, and take on high-risk missions. That's a game changer. But here's the thing, the U.S. isn't the only country thinking about this. China and Russia are already developing military robotics, just not in humanoid form yet. The U.S. has had Predator drones for 3 decades. Autonomous weapons aren't new. What's new is the form factor and the scale. Humanoid robots can go places drones can't. They can operate indoors, climb stairs, open doors, and interact with environments designed for people. This creates a new kind of arms race. It sure does. If the U.S. deploys 50,000 humanoid robots, you can bet China will want 100,000. Russia will want their own version. And suddenly, we're in a world where wars are fought not just by soldiers, but by armies of machines. That raises huge ethical questions. On the plus side, military robots could reduce human casualties on both sides. They could make military operations more precise and reduce collateral damage. They could handle dangerous tasks like bomb disposal and reconnaissance without putting soldiers at risk. And they could act as a deterrent, preventing conflicts before they start. On the minus side, robots could lower the threshold for military action. If there's no human cost, governments might be more willing to use force. Autonomous weapons raise questions about accountability. Who's responsible if a robot makes a mistake? And there's the risk of escalation. If every major military has humanoid robots, conflicts could become more frequent, more automated, and harder to control. That last one is real. Foundation has emphasized that the Phantom will not be fully autonomous and lethal decision-making. It will operate with a human in the loop, similar to current military drones. Humans will retain control over targeting and lethal force, while the robot handles movement and navigation. That's an important safeguard. But as AI gets more advanced, how long will that human-in-the-loop model last? If the AI is way better at fighting a war, not long. And what happens when other countries don't follow the same rules, which is virtually guaranteed? So here's the bottom line. Foundation is a year-old startup that's moving faster than almost anyone in the robotics industry. They've gone from founding to working production robots in 18 months. Wow. They've raised nearly $200 million, and they're planning to manufacture 50,000 humanoid robots by the end of next year, 2027, with a significant focus on military applications. The Phantom MK1 is real. It's working in factories right now, and it's designed to carry weapons and operate in combat zones. Whether that's a good thing or a terrifying thing depends on who you ask. But one thing is certain, this technology is coming, and it's coming fast. The question we all need to be asking is, what kind of world do we want to live in? One where robots prevent wars by making military force so overwhelming that no one dares to fight? Or one where robots make wars more likely because the human cost has been removed? I sure don't have the answer, but I do know this is a conversation we need to be having right now, because the decisions we make today will shape the future of warfare for decades to come. And by the way, this technology obviously has policing applications. If this video opened your eyes to what's happening in military robotics, make sure you're subscribed to the AI Guide so that you don't miss future updates. And let me know in the comments, do you think military humanoid robots are a good idea or a dangerous path? I want to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Finally, please support us on Patreon. Your small dollar monthly contributions make a huge difference for the channel. $1, $2, $5, it all helps. Thanks so much. See you next time. Take care.